Hi everyone, it's me, Ellie, or as you may know me if you came from my TikTok, which I assume most of you have. It's Pennywise Sewer Slut. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm so bad at this already. Anyway, quickly before I get started, because I don't want to bore you all, this is my first video. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I plan on this channel to do videos like this. Like, as you can tell, this one's about Eddie Kaspbrak. We're starting off strong with it. My plan is to do character videos, shows, TV, just talking about stuff, like, you know, like the stuff I love. As you can see, there's a lot of it. We're starting this off with Eddie Kaspbrak, why he's gay. I mean, it's old news, but we're covering it because it's what the people wanted and it's what we deserve. So, yeah, please, right off the bat, if you have any other, like, characters, video ideas, shows, shows, movies, anything, please comment down below. I have a few videos planned. I'll get into that more at the end. So you guys can tell me what you want next, if you care. I mean, or you could tell me to stop, and, like, fair enough. But yeah, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Please don't leave. I hope I'm not boring. Also, I'm sorry if I keep looking like this and not this. Like, I'm filming on my front-facing camera, and, like, everyone, like, you understand the struggle. We've all done it. So, into Eddie Kaspbrak. I've written notes. I have many, and they're, like, written out nice and organized. However, I'm bad at speaking. I am so bad at holding a conversation. And that's, like, with another person to bounce off of. This is just me. So I don't know how we're gonna get through this all, but I'll try. Also, one more thing. I should have scripted this. Basically, I'm very much inspired by Claudia Says Hi with these videos. Like, when I told TikTok I'd be making a channel if I hit 10k, I was like, oh no, what videos do I actually make? Claudia Says Hi is one of my favorite creators on here. She did the Reddy is Real and Stephen King is a Coward video. If you're watching this, I assume you've seen that. She's iconic, she's my favorite, and this is very much inspired by her. And it's why in this video I'm not going to be going into Reddy as much. It's very much just Eddie. I'm not talking about Richie or Reddy in this. I could do another video on Richie. I don't think I need to do a Reddy video though, because she's done one that's so good. And also there's others out there. Like, I feel like Reddy is so overly spoken about, and so is Eddie and Richie separately, but Reddy specifically. I don't feel like I need to voice my opinion on that because it's already been said, specifically by Claudia Says Hi. So go watch her video after this one if you want to see a Reddy video. It's like 41 minutes. It's great. I love it. I've seen it like 10 times. We stan. So, into me. Into the Eddie Kaspbrak analysis. I've got 4 chunks which link to the book. So there's asthma, Eddie/Adrian, they kind of link. Sex, gayness, and self-loathing, and then Myra kind of links in with that one, but it's like got a few of its own, and then there's also like a little conclusion I've got going. So we're going to go through all of these, and hopefully it's not too chaotic. Hopefully it makes sense, and you guys can follow along. Cool. So, first of all, and I'm probably going to look down a lot because I am, like, reading, and I'm not good at, like, skimming and summarizing while looking ahead. Hopefully that skill will improve as I carry on. So, asthma. We're told right off the bat when Eddie's nervous he reaches for his aspirator. That's, like, a direct quote. Like, so Eddie's, I can't read. I've written a word, I don't know how to say it. His asthma, and then there's another word, which basically just means it's not real. His, like, mental asthma thing is rooted in nervousness and things that make him scared and uncomfortable. And his first on-page asthma attack is after Mike phones them. Also, I keep playing with my hair. I'm gonna get sidetracked a lot because I'm bad at keeping my attention on one thing. Eddie's first on-page asthma attack is as an adult after receiving his phone call from Mike. Specifically, it's about the thought of Richie. Right off the bat, gay. Asthma is the most prominent symptom of Eddie's hypochondria, and the attacks are common occurrences. The most interesting of these attacks for, like, this video is, when Mike is, telling them about the new murders, how they began on the Main Street Bridge and ended underneath it. The victim was a gay, Victim was a gay and rather childlike man named Adrian Malone. He had a bad case of asthma. Eddie, and then it cuts, Eddie's hand stole out and touched the side of his aspirator. This instantly shows us that, hearing about a gay man, obviously anyone's gonna be scared at the thought of anyone being killed, like in their town, or not town, you know, like near them, especially when it's like about it. But the fact that his asthma is like rooted in that, what makes him uncomfortable and scared, and it's like a gay man, it's pretty gay. So, and then Mike tells Liz about Adrian, and then he notes 3 things about him. He was gay, childlike, and had asthma. But with the asthma thing, we're not told about it, like, right off the bat. Like, we're just told he's gay, and there's a connection between Eddie and Adrian before we found out he has asthma, and later on we find out that, this comes in more in the Eddie-Adrian area. Each of the murders linked to a loser of, like, the new, like, after 27 years, like, the new string of murders as they're adults links to a loser. And Adrian's the one that links to Eddie, and by Mike telling them he was gay, childlike, and had asthma, the connection between him and Eddie is quickly drawn. We already think of them as being similar, even if it's just for asthma. Like, they're similar people, similar characters. And then Eddie reaching for his aspirator shows he's nervous. This could be because a man with asthma is killed by it, and he also has asthma, or it could be, like, more similarities. And with characters, if you have, like, a story, like a medium, and you're told these 2 characters are similar for this reason. I don't know why I'm using my hands, you're not dumb. If you're told these 2 characters are similar for one reason, you're automatically going to think, oh, well, this character also has this, does that link to him? And he has this, does that link to him? So you automatically then draw more parallels naturally by there already being one confirmed one. So by Eddie and Adrian being canonly linked, because the murders were all linked, and then us being told that they both had asthma, that also then brings up more similarities, especially when you consider Adrian's whole character is being gay. Like, because he's not there for long. We only really know that he's gay, and that he was killed because, he was, like, killed in a hate crime. Like, that's what we know. So when you link them to it, automatically makes you think, oh, is Eddie gay? So more in with the Eddie and Adrian stuff. Yeah, here we go. So the other losers are being called. I know that much. No. The other losers are being called. I know that much. Each murder in this new cycle has been a call. That's Mike writing that into, like, that's Mike. And he's referring to how each of the new murders links to loser by drawing a parallel between Eddie and Adrian. Stephen King leads us to believe that Adrian's murder links to Eddie, also suggesting there are other links between them. That's the same thing. We know factually that the murders each link to a loser. And we've already had that Eddie reaching for his aspirator and feeling affected by Adrian's death. So we know that, like, they're the 2 that linked. And then, in a way, there are differences. The differences between Adrian and Eddie are what make them similar. Like, they're polar opposites. Like, Adrian is very confident, he's loud, he's proud of who he is. And if we assume Eddie is gay, which we're going to be doing because he is, he's closeted, he's scared, he's unsure in a way, he's not comfortable with who he is, whereas Adrian fully accepts it and he knows who he is and he just doesn't care. So yeah. And then here's a quote about Adrian, more quotes. He didn't have much in the way of protective coloration. He was one of those fools who think things really are going to turn out alright. And then his openness, though, is what gets him killed. Like, Adrian being how he is. If he wasn't that out and proud and loud and out, if he wasn't like that, he wouldn't have been killed. So it's taunting to Eddie in a way. It killing Adrian links to Eddie's fear, and it's taunting him because it's like, hey, you could have been this. We'll get into that later, though. As was mentioned in the first chapter, making the comparison seem weak until you consider other potential links. Or my feet are cramping up. So, So such as them both being gay, or their contrasting personalities and happiness. So asthma as a whole is a very weak link. Like there's not much, like it's very like, oh, they both have asthma, like, you know, so like that makes you automatically think like, oh, there's more to this. So if we accept that Eddie and Adrian are linked, then it goes without saying that there's a strong implication that Eddie is closeted, and the fear and self-hatred that Eddie carried his whole life never bothered Adrian until it killed him. And if we accept Eddie and Adrian are linked, and what it implies, we can infer that Adrian is what Eddie could have been, happy, open and out, and then, but that's what killed Adrian. So it's, like I was saying, it's taunting Eddie, because it's saying like, this is what you could have been, but at the same time, you couldn't have even been happy as that. It's adding to Eddie's fear of himself and his like unhappiness. Generally, you know? So that's all I have on Adrian, but I hope that made sense. Like, you know, just, they're very much linked characters. They're polar opposites, but that makes them so similar. And Eddie was never what Adrian was, and obviously Eddie dies too, which is kind of sad. But it's just telling Eddie, it's like, not directly, but you never would have been happy, because even if you, it's just his fear, like, he's scared of being who he is, so by it killing Adrian, to taunt him, it's just saying, like, fuck you, basically. And then next heading I have is sex, gayness, and self-loathing. So, in the book, everyone knows the leper scene. Is it leper? It's leper, isn't it? I always worried I'm saying it wrong. Leper scene. Basically, there's the leper, weird old dude, and he offers Eddie a blowjob for like a dime or a nickel or something, and then he eventually is like, oh, I'll do it for free, let me give you a blowjob, that kind of thing. And then Eddie's like, please go away, I don't want to think about that. And it would be normal, obviously, for an 11-year-old to not want to think about some old dude giving them a blowjob. Like, I'm not saying that, like, it's purely because he's gay why he was scared. Like, I think I'd be scared if, some weird old man was like, want a blowjob. Although I don't, he couldn't. Anyway, so, it'd be normal for any 11-year-old to be scared of a diseased man offering a blowjob, but it does offer up a lot of analysis, the link between gayness and disease specifically. There was no need for the leper to offer the blowjob. Like in the 2017 movie, they didn't do that. And it worked just as well. But, my hair is so annoying, sorry. But, the link that Stephen King puts in between gayness and disease in Eddie's head, like, because it's his fear. Like, so putting, like, the diseased, and not necessarily gay man, but the gay sexual things, with the diseased man, it just kind of gives the impression that Eddie links them in his head, and like his fear isn't only of disease and him being diseased, but his fear is also of being gay and like gay people. So yeah, and then Eddie's frightened by the thought of gay sex, another notable point in the novel as well. So there's leper where he's scared of that, and then also we have Beverly, and it says that Patrick, he was down in the barrens before it took him. Beverly saw him doing something bad. It made her laugh, but she knew it was bad, something to do with Henry Bowers, wasn't it? Yes, I think so. And then at that point it cuts off. Eddie turned away suddenly and started back towards the abandoned depot, not wanting to look down at the barrens anymore, not liking the thoughts they conjured up. He wanted to be home with Myra. So we later see the scene between Henry and Patrick. Basically, Patrick gives Henry a hand job, and then he offers more. Henry gets very angry and violent and leaves, leaving Patrick alone at the barrens. Eventually he's killed by it. But Eddie not wanting to listen to that or even look in that area and want Myra instead, it just shows him, it links to like the leper, he's scared. Like, Myra is his shield in a sense, and the thought of two men doing something makes him want her, because he doesn't want to think about that, because internalized homophobia, basically. And she's his shield against gayness and everything. And then also in the book, Sonia gets defensive and cruel at the thought of a pair of unconfirmed gay men in the town. That's not really much, but it just shows like his mother was homophobic, as many people were in the 50s. It just links further analysis. Yes. And then Eddie explicitly feels incomplete and wrong at one point, even linking himself to the leper, saying it's eating him from the inside and out. This is a big one, because all we know of the leper is that he's diseased and he's offering. He's not necessarily gay, because it isn't a thing, it's just it. But the leper, it's offering like gay sex, and then he's diseased. So Eddie seeing himself in the leper there's the obvious one of him being scared of being ill and diseased and stuff, but then there's also the fear of him being gay and him knowing it in a sense but not wanting to be gay. So it's the fear of just being like unchangeable. Like he doesn't want the diseases and he doesn't want to be gay. Yes. So overall, can you hear my stomach? I'm not really hungry, guys. I'm so bad at this. Anyway, basically that section, it just, the Adrian part, whereas the Adrian part implies that he is, even if he doesn't know it or want to accept it, it's just telling us like, hey, he's a bit gay. The leper bit and like the Patrick and Myra, and we'll get more into Myra in a second, but like that all shows that he in a way knows but doesn't want to accept it, or he just flat out ignores it. You know what I mean? So now we have like it being implied to the reader or viewer that he's gay, and then we also have him being scared of it. So together he's looking pretty canonly gay right now. Then Myra, there's a bit more on her. She's extremely similar to Sonia, Eddie's mother. He's only with her because she's familiar. He's not in love with her. And many people will use Myra as like an argument against people saying Eddie's gay. They'll be like, oh, how can he be gay if he's married to a woman? It's like, he's not in love with her. It's very explicitly clear that he's not in love with Myra. She's, like, you know the Office thing where it's like, corporate wants you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Yeah, this is Myra, that's Sonia. Like, it shows Eddie hasn't actually fallen in love. He's with her for protection, convenience. It's because she's familiar, she's safe, she's what he knows, and it means he can ignore all the gay. Like, you know, like, I don't know how to, I mean, I do know how to describe because I just did. I don't know how to finish describing it. I'm like Bill ending his books. I don't know how to end. That was such, I'm sorry, that was bad. So yeah, and then also in the mini-series, because Myra, the only, my feet really hurt. The only form of the story that Myra isn't a character in is the mini-series. And the mini-series, I'm pretty sure Eddie is canonly in that form gay. Just like Richie in 2019 movie and 2017 therefore. Like Richie in the newer movies is gay, confirmed, whereas Eddie in the miniseries was. And that doesn't mean that Eddie is necessarily gay in the newer ones, or that Richie's gay across the board, or like any of that, or that they're together, obviously, because they're different canons of the same thing. So, like, ultimately Reddy isn't real. Hate to burst our little bubble here, but Reddy isn't canon. It wasn't confirmed in It Chapter 2. All that we really got was that Richie was in love with Eddie. And even then, like, I saw it with my mum, and she came out the cinema, and her first thing, she was like, oh, they really were best friends, weren't they? It's like, they didn't do shit. They didn't really confirm it. But, oh well, back to the miniseries. Eddie is canonly gay, I'm pretty sure, in the miniseries. And it's the one thing where Myra isn't there, but he's living with Sonia still, and when he's going to fight it for the second time with the losers, how did I forget that? He tells them he's a virgin and stuff like that, so like, he's obviously never had a woman, he's never found someone, obviously. And obviously that doesn't mean he's definitely gay. Like, people do just not, like, some people don't find anyone. But for who he was, it's just adding to that. And then also in the miniseries, it uses homophobic insults against him. And then in a context where it uses fears against people, it adds to Eddie's fear of his gayness. Like, there was no need for it to call him like girly boy unless he was gay and scared of it, because if Eddie wasn't scared of that, it wouldn't use it, because his goal is to get the fears. And then there's also Eddie doesn't like showering with in front of the other boys. It makes him feel uncomfortable. Like, that's just another little thing to throw in there. So, in conclusion, a huge argument is about him not being gay is it's never stated explicitly. But Stephen King never says that Sonia has Munchausen syndrome, and he never calls Beverly Sad a pedophile, but it's very much just accepted as canon. Like, people generally can take the implications and be like, yeah, it's the same with Eddie being gay. Like, it's not explicitly said, and it doesn't make much sense for it to be explicitly said, because Eddie doesn't even recognize it within himself, so why would the book recognize it? Because it's like, you know, if he can't accept it, it's not going to tell us he's gay, because in his head, he either isn't or he just doesn't. Yeah. And then Eddie thinks about boys and girls very differently. Like, my final point. When he thinks about boys, Richie, Bill, and then, like, even Belch, he uses very descriptive language, and he's very, just, like, wistful with it, you know? Whereas with girls, like, he has a crush on Greta, and, it's very stiff and ambiguous. Like, he says notable shoulders and clothes with Greta, and then with his friend Bill, he says he's got a lovely and well-loved face. Also with Bill, there's the whole thing of Eddie having a crush on him. I know there's lots of... What's their ship name? Bill and Eddie. I don't know. But there's the ship, and lots of people ship them because of Eddie's very explicit... If you accept that Eddie's gay when you read the book, it's very clear that he has a crush on Bill. Just with how he describes him, how he thinks of him, like, all that fun stuff. It's just very well made clear. Very well made clear. English. So yeah, that's all I have. Sorry this video is messy. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. This was taken in, like, one take. So, I've been filming for 23 minutes now. Let's see how I cut that down, if I do it all. But yeah, thank you for watching. This was me, talking about Eddie Kaspbrak. I wanted to do another one on Richie, but I don't know if I will. If you like these, and I'll get better as I do them more, and I'll get better editing and, like, speaking, so that I'm not good at holding a conversation, like, with other people, let alone with myself, which is all this is. So, people are commenting on my TikToks. That's not distracting at all. So, comment down other videos you'd want to see, I guess, if you want me to carry on. I can probably refilm this one, to be honest. I'm just filming it now because if I don't film it now, I have to wait in like another week, and I don't want to do that. So, in other videos I have idea-wise, like, if you don't care about me, you can leave now, because I'm not going to be talking about Eddie. Like, Eddie is done now. We're done with Eddie. I want to talk about Mike Hanlon, because I was not wrong about his character, but, like, I was always... Mike Hanlon in the new ones aren't as good. Mike Hanlon in the new movies isn't as good, whereas he is now. So I'd love to talk about Mike Hanlon and, like, why he's underdeveloped, but also good developed, and why he's a good character. Another Mike I want to talk about is Mike Wheeler from Stranger Things, and why Malevolent is a bad ship. Controversial, I know. I want to talk about why Malevolent is toxic and bad, and you shouldn't really ship it. It's not very good. I want to talk about Richie. I would do a video on Reddy, but again, like, watch Claudia Says Hi as one if you haven't already. I want to talk about Queen, maybe. I don't know what I could say about Queen, but we can talk about it. What else is there? I want to talk about problems within the It fandom, I guess, like fact shippers, even like Philly shippers, Nilly shippers, Giant shippers. It's all very bad. Don't do it. While I do that, like, just give me video ideas, I guess, like characters, and like specifically characters you want to hear me talk about. Also, another character I have, this is very problematic of me, I know. Right here in my book, after the Eddie Kaspbrak one, can you see that? And you see that we have a Montgomery de la Cruz. We have 5 sides on him. So if you want a Monty video, me talking about why he's the best character in the show, I can do that as well. Basically just give me characters, TV shows, movies. I'll watch them if I can. And then write up a little piece and talk about it on here. That's my plan for this channel, at least. So yeah, please help me out. Subscribe, comment, like, all of that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. This was chaotic and bad. I'm sorry. I'll get good at this eventually if you guys want me to carry on doing it. But thank you for watching and goodbye. How do YouTubers end their videos? I know like the vloggers go like peace. Is that a thing? I don't know. Bye. Thank you for watching. See you next time.